But I'm so excited, Johan. Ek het 2 mense wat ek van hou om te bel. So my telefoon is daar nog te veel minute oor, so bel ek vir hom. Because he has got so much information and he's so learned. You can always phone him if you need something. And if your organization need guidance, he does it in a fee, of course, because he's working for an organization. That is the bread and butter. But really, he's helped us to change the ship in the right direction. Thanks, Sean.
Thanks, John. So it's my privilege to just give a bit of feedback from the Elders Board side. We're excited for everything that's happening at the FCCA. So my little slot, I'm going to try to keep it short, and I'm not going to grab the Bible to start preaching as well. So on our side, as Johan said, we mentioned last time as well, we're going through a process to say we just want to look at the FCCA again and make sure we define who is the FCCA, what is our purpose, what is our game plan, where do we keep our focus and our attention. We know that we are only a part of the larger body of Christ. And we want to focus on, when we say we're the hand, we want to do the best handwork that we can. And we want to support the rest of the body by doing what we need to do. So we touched on it last time. I just quickly want to run through again to give a perspective for all the new members. I know there's a few people that's here for the first time. Just to give you a picture and say, currently, this is how we define the FCCA. This is who we are, this is what we do. So if we go to the first slide, you say, why does the FCCA exist? And we have coined this phrase saying, this is our why statement. Why do we exist? This is our purpose. And we state it like this: to ordain and empower called ones for their work of ministry. FCCA, yes, we call ourselves a ministry, but our purpose is we want to ordain and empower called ones for their work of ministry. That's what we say the purpose of the FCCA is. That's what we want to focus on. That's what we want to do. Next part, who we are, our organizational structure. If people ask, okay, so you're an FCCA, so you're a church, we say no. So this is who we are. This is our structure. We're a church network acting as a credible body to recognize and empower work of ministry. We don't own churches, we don't do worship conferences, we don't do all kinds of things. This is who we are and this is what we do. We want to empower our members. We want to be a network and we want to be a credible body that recognizes people for their work of ministry. Then nextly, what do we want to achieve? The 4 things that we said, if we as FCCA get these 4 things right, then we're doing our work properly. There's a lot of things that we can do. We've identified these 4 outcomes. This is our outcomes. So firstly, we say public recognition for called and qualified ministers. If we can get to a point where our recognition is credible for people that are in ministry, for whatever God called them to do, then we're getting right what we're supposed to do. Secondly, pastors appointed as legal marriage officers. That's one of the things that we want to get right. Now, everybody that's busy with that process will know it's frustrating currently, and we're trying to find solutions as fast and as effectively as we can. Unfortunately, that not only sits in our hands, but with the government processes as well. I'm in conversation with other church networks, seeing if we can find options to get things moving, because the other church networks and denominations are also currently struggling with that point. Most of their marriage officer applications are standing completely still. We don't want to blame shift, but we want to say currently that's the reality. And we're trying to figure out ways to make that work, because that's one of our strategic outcomes. That's what we want to achieve. Thirdly, continuous growth and development of ministers to effectively minister. We said in the FCCA, reaching a point where you are becoming a ministry member or an ordained pastor, that's great. But we all want to grow. if we take ministry seriously, we need to look at ourselves and say, we constantly need to grow our character and our competency. And opportunities like Reforma creates that space. And going forward, that's going to be a larger demand that we are going to put on our members to say, great, you're in ministry, you have been called, you have been ordained, you have been qualified, but you can't stay there. The world is changing, the work is changing, and you constantly need to improve and empower yourself to do your work of ministry more effectively. The FCCA can't do everything, but what we want to do is we want to create platforms and opportunities. Once again, Reforma is one of the first initiatives that we brought closer and say, Reforma can help us with this. If you feel you need to grow, or whether you feel like that or not, you need to know you need to grow. Reforma is an option. And going forward, we're going to start looking at more options that the FCCA can say, we're pulling in these guys, we're starting to get this group closer. Here is more options that we expect our members and our leaders to engage in to continue to grow. And then lastly, the fourth point, fellowship between ministers, ministries, and churches. We're not in this alone. We're part of a body. And one of our outcomes is we want to make sure FCCA facilitates opportunities where ministers, ministries, and churches fellowship with one another. And we're so excited to hear. I sit there at the back and I listen to the feedback everybody's getting from the Reforma calls, and that's already starting to happen as well. That makes us as an elders board excited, because that's what we want to achieve. We can't do everything on our own. We create a platform, but if we can facilitate something that's creating that outcome, then we feel we are being good stewards with what God entrusted us as FCCA to do. Can go to the next slide. So our members are called ministry leaders, disciple ministers, churches, and ministries. Now, we're in conversation to define that more properly, and the processes. We know the processes feels unstructured and ineffective at the moment. We want to define that clearly. Some of our conversation is with membership. Can ministry organizations become part of the FCCA? And that's what we say, yes. We want to empower the work of ministry. So if we can get organizations, churches or Reforma groups or whatever groups to become part of the FCCA, we want to pull them in so that we can create fellowship between the ministries. And even when the FCCA is not necessarily involved in projects, we know that if this member and this member and this member starts creating a fellowship and they start creating synergy, there's going to be kingdom work that's going to be advancing. We don't have to control that. We don't have to set everything up. We want to create a space where all the ministers come together, fellowship, and say, what is God asking us to do? And you collaborate with the relevant groups, the relevant ministers, and FCCA can stand back and say, we're doing our job. Right, on the next slide. So, from the Elders Board side, our next strategic focus points, what we want to focus on to get right. We promised you we're going to work on this vehicle, this organization. Our next focus points are these ones. First one, define governance and operational processes. We have governance processes, we have some operational processes, but we want to say we want to define it more effectively, and we want to put our governance processes in place very securely, and then following that with all the operational processes that needs to run. Secondly, we want to clarify and communicate membership. The three groups we put there, in the next season, we're going to be very clear on what membership entails. What is our expectation when members join? Are you just part of a club? Do you just click and fill in a form? And we say, no, we don't want to do that. This is not a Facebook group that you just join. There's an expectation. When you sign up and you say, I am a ministry member of the FCCA, what does it mean? One of the things that I already spoke about, the expectation that there's going to be continual growth. It's not a membership that you sign up and you forget about. Well, then we're going to keep knocking on your door and asking, are you growing? Because if you want to stay a member of the FCCA, there needs to be growth. We need to define, and that's one of our points, defining membership and effectively communicating what is our expectation to our members and what can our members expect from the FCCA. And then third one, we are busy with a website build and a launch. So in the future, there's a website that we're going to publish. I know there has been questions on the FCCA. We had a website. Where is it? We can't find it. Is it still active? Is the information outdated? So we are in the process. That's one of our key strategic points. We are going to launch a website again. And then the last one is optimize our communication processes. So not delving into all of those in detail, I just want to give you a bit of a taster on one of those points, which is the website. So we can go to the next one. Yes, coming soon, our new FCCA website. So the purpose of the website is threefold. First one, information about the FCCA. If you've been part of the FCCA for years, you know the FCCA, but we want to provide a public space where people can see who is the FCCA, what are these people about, what do they believe, what do they do, where do they come from. So first, let's provide information about the FCCA. Secondly, we want to create an active directory to verify ministers and our members. In the past, we always had the certificate and a small little card, and the card expires and we need to print one, and we need to keep track on where is everyone, did everyone get their new little card to say that you are a member. We want to move into the space where most professional bodies, the Health Professions Council, the Engineering Council, other churches, have an online directory that's active and live. If you want to verify, is someone a member of that organization or that body or that group, you go onto the website, you click on the online directory, and you can see, hey, this person says they are a member. Yes, they are. There's their picture. They are an active member. So we want to move into the space where FCCA wants to move away from the physical cards and say, we want to have a live online directory. When you refer someone into the website and say, I'm part of this organization, the moment they open the directory and they say, oh, okay, there's not just 7 members, this is a group of credible people, and they're part of this group. It's not just this little small cell group that started their own thing. This is a credible organization. Here's a directory of all their members. And then lastly, the website should be a place where application, information, and the processes is explained. If a new member wants to sign up, he needs to go to the website, click on a page and say, this is the expectations of membership, this is the process, this is how I apply. Instead of phoning Johan or phoning Dennis and trying to figure out what's the next step, where do I go to the website, click, here's the process, here's the steps to follow, and we follow it up from there. That's the purpose of what the website needs to be. So just to give a sneak preview, it might change a lot still, but this is the first ideas of where the website will be. And that's a bit small maybe to look at the top. Our primary menus at the top. If we can maybe go to the next slide. So if you go to the About, we're going to put in our history, the vision and the mission, and who is the current leadership of the FCCA. On our next directory, the members directory, we're going to have the membership options like ordained ministers, ministry members, and churches and ministries that become part of the FCCA. Then we also want to put in the option, as I said, how to become a member and your ordination, apply to become a member, everything is going to be on that website. So the membership directory will probably look something like this. We might still make it a bit more pretty, but we're going to have a list, say this is our ordained ministers, this is our official members. If you find them on this list, they are officially active members of that organization. On the next slide, we'll probably have something a bit more pretty than this, not so plain, but taking a province for instance, Gauteng. Every time we have a member that moves to a different town, I know you guys moved now to a different town. If you update your contact details, we add a new town or a new city saying this province, who is all the members? So then everybody in the FCCA can see where is our members based. If I need to have a ministry project in a town, go to the members directory, look at the provinces, look at the towns, who is the FCCA members that are already active there. Let me take hands, let me contact them and facilitate the ministry in conjunction with our members that's already there. We can see where everyone is. And if you see there's a town or a space that you maybe want to go represent, because we don't have members there yet, then let us know. And we update all your contact details there. For instance, if you click then on someone's name, you can find a nice picture like yours truly. The idea is to put on, so you're a FCCA member, this is your FCCA number, this is the time that you joined the FCCA, you're an active member, what is the local church that you are involved in, what is your ministry roles that you currently hold, and here's the contact information. So then anyone that goes to the website can contact any of our members. So they don't have to go through the FCCA office. If they call me and I'm in a meeting, then they need to hold on. If they go to the directory and your details are there, and your contact details that you supply us with, they can directly contact you. We want to create a website as an empowering tool, not just for the FCCA, but for our members as well. And we can go on and put some detail in, who you are, what is your passions, what is your training, what is your ministry experience, and we'll define on what information we want to put on each profile. But that's the idea currently of what we want to do. So I hope we're a bit excited about the website. I hope you guys are as well, because we believe this will put a lot of frustrations out of the way. If we can get our website up and running, the process is optimized, it will streamline a lot of processes. It will provide an opportunity for our members to connect and follow each other more effectively, so that fellowship and synergy can flourish, actually. So that was my short input, our feedback from the Elders Board side. If you have any questions, welcome to ask Johan or